Happy Carnival! And
Good
welcome
morning.
again to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. We've got several traditions that we do, out on the parade route, but this is becoming a tradition for us.
I love it. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure to have Mr. Clark Brennan here with us from the Krewe of Bacchus.
Good morning.
Hail
guys.
Bacchus.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I enjoy this too. The last couple of years we've done it, and it truly gives me a chance to relax. I'll be honest with you. I put the cell phone away, and I can pay attention to you two, and we appreciate you coming.
Yeah, so I got to ask you our traditional icebreaker question. What's the schedule of the captain of the Krewe of Bacchus look like? I know that every year it seems like
I
you're
came
running
to-
like a
yes.
dog with no head,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
So I came to town last night and got into the Hilton Hotel where we are now. And then I'm doing you guys this morning. I have a lunch at 11, a lunch meeting. And then we are picking up the King's guests are flying in today.
Okay,
So we've got several cars going back and forth to get his guest, Kevin Dillon, our King. And then we're taking them to dinner tonight. And then I have the page party. For the pages that will be on the King's float, we have a party, again, meeting with the family, the parents, to let them feel a little more comfortable about what takes place, because they hand their children over to us and they don't see them
Right,
for several
right, yeah.
hours. So I kind of let them feel at ease, but they're excited and the kids are excited, so that's a great event to go to. Then tonight, we'll take the guests to dinner, and we'll go see the Muses Parade on St. Charles Avenue, and have a little dinner at Jack Rose at the Punch Train. Tomorrow is Friday, so I have an interview with WWL at 7 a.m.
all right.
So I'll be up early with Eric Paulson, and that'll be good. And then we do get together again about 11:30, and then we will go get Kevin Dillon, flies in tomorrow at 3.
Okay,
So we'll get Kevin, bring him back to the Hilton and fanfare and all that good stuff, get him in his room, and then we have the King's party tomorrow night at the Court of Two Sisters. So it'll be a nice gathering. Then Saturday morning, get up early again. I think I have an interview Saturday morning. And then we do Children's Hospital at 10 a.m.
okay,
So we go to Children's Hospital at 10 a.m. We bring the King through Children's Hospital and do the stuff with the children there and the administration. It's a great event, lots of people, and it's good. It's good. Then from there, we'll go to Commander's Palace for lunch. And then really, Saturday evening, we give the Kings freedom. Not too much freedom, because we
Right,
don't want them
yeah.
to get in trouble, but what do they want to do?
Yeah.
What does their family and friends want to do? For me personally, I try to really just have a dinner with my wife and some friends, and just really settle down and get to bed early. Sunday is Bacchus Sunday.
yeah.
So we'll be up early Bacchus Sunday, and then les bon
Right,
temps
right.
roulette.
Yeah.
So Kevin Dillon, I hear he was on the short list last year, but it took to this year to...
He was.
come
Then he had a
through.
movie that came up, and he couldn't make it. So, the good Lord works in funny ways,
Yeah.
and we really, really work hard to get celebrities. And
Yeah.
it's more difficult each and every year with their schedule than this year. We had the strike, so we couldn't communicate with anybody for months.
really? Yeah.
For months. So that was a little.
Taxi.
So,
That was taxing on me.
available, if it ever comes down to
Okay,
it.
yes,
you
yes.
know.
But Kevin's a great guy. We got a chance to meet him. We had dinner with him on King's Day. He flew in to have dinner with us. I always like to get to meet the King prior to them just getting off the plane and saying, where am I? What's going
Yeah.
on? We can sit and have a quiet dinner and really explain what he is about to partake in. And
I don't
once-
think any description really captures
it
that.
can't,
right,
it can't, but if we don't get that meeting, it's very difficult when they get off the plane and then they're like, what? And so, because, it's
Yeah,
as
you don't
know,
want them to jump into,
they're throwing doubloons. What is a doubloon? They're getting cameras and they're, what's going on. It's a big deal. And so, and they're a big deal. and we want their experience to be just one that of
Yeah,
a
you want them to
lifetime.
go back to Hollywood and tell
That's-
all their
this is-
friends and
This is
and whatnot.
55 years now.
Yeah.
And people say, well, how do you get your king? And it really goes back to our track record. And thank God, we've had great kings and we've had good success. And they go back and say, yeah, man, you know, Clark Brennan and those guys at Bacchus, they're good people. They'll take care of you. They're going to
Yeah.
take care of your family, your children, and let them have the time of their life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime.
I mean, we're locals.
opportunity.
We know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you imagine
No.
Joe Blow or Kevin Dillon on Sunday getting on that King's float way up there with millions of people screaming for him?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to blow your mind.
Yeah, seeing a sea of humanity. I mean,
I mean,
yeah, we always talk
blows my
about
mind
that.
just to ride
where
a
we-
regular route. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, where we stand, I know it's at least 10 people deep. and
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
I know that it's not like it's just in that little corner that's 10 feet deep. It's
know, I know.
10 foot deep, the the whole
Yeah, yeah.
7 miles or whatever that the route is.
Now, this year we have the Super Bowl to contend with, but it is still Bacchus Sunday.
Yeah.
So, look,
Had them before.
we're sold, yeah, we've done it before, and it is pretty cool. People will come up to me, throw me some beads, and I'll tell you what the score is.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty cute. We've done that, that's been funny.
Well-
And then some people have the TV
projections,
on
yeah.
their porch, and you can see it.
Yeah.
So we get enough of the football, and then at our rendezvous at the convention center, we're gonna have the game on prior to, and then once the party starts at 7, the game will, I guess we'll leave the screens on the game, but there'll be music going on at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every year that we've had a Super Bowl that falls on Bacchus Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, it always seems like you said, people are putting their TV out. You know, the
Yeah.
people across the street from us, they have a projector that I think that they only use it for Bacchus Sunday Super Bowls,
Yeah.
and they project it onto the side of their house.
I'll be darned.
You know?
Yeah,
So we can
yeah,
see
yeah.
it across the street.
Yeah.
You know, and just,
Sure,
Giants are winning. You know?
sure.
Yeah, the last one I really remember was the one where New England was going to be undefeated and the Giants beat them and
It
kind of
was
a
that
shocker.
catch. It was
Yeah,
that catch.
yeah.
I remember that catch because I was on the float, and that catch, someone was projecting it on Poydras.
All right.
I saw that catch from my float.
Caught it with his
Yeah.
helmet.
Yes. I'm like, I'll be damned. Look at that.
No, but I'm not watching the Super Bowl. If the Saints were in it, I would have
Yeah.
maybe considered a little more.
We've always
but,
said that if the
yeah.
Saints were ever in it, it could be an issue.
Yeah.
So
But
next
still,
year-
you've got millions of people who want Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have millions of people that want football.
Yeah.
Make your choice.
Yeah. I think there's enough of us to cover both.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely, absolutely.
But, so what's Kevin Dillon like? He seems like a funny guy.
He's pretty quiet.
Really?
Now, we
Surprising.
just had him at a dinner,
Yeah.
just my wife Tiffany and I and my brother Blake and Lynn and George Grimes and his wife had Kevin for dinner. We went to Mosca's for dinner.
All right.
It was delicious. And he really, you know, when you get these guys, I mean, there's a lot to go over and a lot to explain. And so in that experience, he was pretty quiet. But, I mean, we stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning talking. We came back to the hotel and just had some after-dinner drinks and relaxed and talked. So he is funny, though.
Yeah, he's
He is
a
funny.
character.
And so, I mean, we had a good time, and we giggled and we laughed, and I just think he's going to have the time. I know he's going to have the time of his
Yeah.
life, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's coming in with his buddies, his 2 brothers, and a couple other guys coming in.
All right.
So they're just going to have a great time. But I really think from my first meeting with him, very laid back, easygoing,
Yeah.
looking forward to greeting people and shaking hands and telling people hello and welcome to the city of New Orleans.
You know, I always wonder, number one, what it feels like when they make that turn on the St. Charles. But other than that, like just to be treated as one of the big kings of Mardi Gras
Sure,
here,
sure.
because I mean, that's a huge honor for us. We respect those guys. We
Sure.
give them all the love in the world.
I don't know-
They must leave here going
you know-
like, man, I didn't want that weekend to end.
I know. And that's what we want them to say. And that's, I'm in the hospitality industry,
Yeah.
so we're always taking care of people. And that's just in my blood, is to take care of people. So, we want to make sure that king and his guests have, again, their time of their life. I've said it many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
But when they leave here, we want them to say, wow. And so, I texted him yesterday. I said, hey, buddy, get ready. A couple more days, And he responded back. So he's ready. But he's in Vegas today. He's got to do a charity event for the Super Bowl.
All right.
And then he flies out tonight, early tomorrow morning, to get into tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. So you had briefly talked about, you mentioned the balloons. I know y'all got some exciting throws this year. One that we've become favorites of, that every year we talk about it before we go on air, socks.
Well, this year,
Y'all got
we're
like
going
a million
overboard.
socks. Yeah, it feels like y'all got one for the street sweepers and the pole truck in the front.
It's funny. But everybody's talking about these socks, which is cool, George Schiaffino's one of my board of directors. He's the treasurer. And George always wore colorful socks. And they were always cool. And so one year he made a pair of socks for his float. Well, then somebody said, man, I wanted some socks. So the next year we had 2 or 3 pairs of socks. And then we had some Christmas socks. We have our Christmas thing for the members. We know Christmas.
We know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And so this year, just everybody wanted socks. And so we have really 35 pairs of socks, all different socks this year. We have 32 floats, but there's one float that's got a couple of different socks. So we have 35 pairs of socks. I think that could become the new doubloon collection.
Yeah.
I mean, I collect them both, but I also wear them all, much to my girlfriend's angst. Because one day she wanted to go eat, and I'm like, I'm waiting on the dryer. She's like, "Where you dress?" I was like, "I don't have any socks." And she's like, "There's socks in your drawer." And I'm like, "They're not Mardi Gras socks."
That's right.
I managed to wear Mardi Gras socks every day this past year.
Yeah, he flew to Dubai for a few weeks for business.
Yeah.
And every day he would post a picture or send me a picture on Facebook of his feet, and it would be a different pair of Bacchus socks.
What'd they think of your socks in Dubai?
Well, I didn't realize this, but turning the bottom of your feet up to somebody is insulting.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was at the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and I'm sitting out there in front of the fountain. So I stuck my Bacchus socks out and took a picture, and the Khalifa's in the background.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it at the time, but everybody over there is just glaring at me.
Oh, my God.
Like staring me down. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, But they got a good view of the socks, so.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but there's a few of them. I was sending them to my boss too. I'm like, "Yep, working hard.
Yeah.
Feet up, cocktail in hand."
What was the temperature, 120?
Oh no, I was there a good time of year, so it was comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was warm, but not
Not the
deadly,
scorcher.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, one of the stories that you hear where it's so hot that literally, they park in a parking garage, specifically so that they're in a climate-controlled scenario when they're getting out of their car to go into the mall or the grocery store or
It gets
wherever.
brutal over there.
Yeah.
But
Good.
great time though. But it was funny with the socks. Everybody was like, "What are you doing?" I'm
Yeah.
like, and so of course I posted on the podcast like, "Hey, we work hard for you. I'm field testing all the socks." You know?
Well, the socks are going to be a biggie this year, and I personally like the 101 Dalmatian hat throw.
Oh, yeah. I saw
So it's got
that.
lights, and if you press the little bottom, the ears come down.
Yeah.
Well, not the ears, it's just the legs. So if you press the bottom, then the ears go up. So they got little AirPods in it. So I think the kids are going to go crazy for that.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. Y'all have some big metal medallion beads.
We got new bead
y'all
with the.
had Bacchus Kong before, but you
We
had
do.
two new ones.
We do. This particular one is our medallion bead this year. It's more of a heavy, almost like a heavy doubloon, with lights and everything on it. So it looks great. But you got to come up with something new every year,
Yeah.
and to be as innovative as you can be. It's getting harder and harder every year because
Yeah.
there's more great organizations that are trying to do the same. And so everybody's got their throw, which is great. And that's what Mardi Gras is about. And, it's just great to be a part of that brings us together as a community and brings us together to bring joy to our citizens and to the world.
So your theme this year, take a ticket, please? Is that
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir. Take a number, please.
Take a number, please. That really gave you a lot of freedom to have.
It did.
It's
Again,
similar as last
we
year,
just
but-
sit around and we talk about themes and what do you think and what do you think? And somebody was talking about they were at the dry cleaners and take a ticket to get your cleaning.
Right.
And we said, man, and so it just went from that one thought to, well, what about the 3 Little Pigs? What about the 7 Dwarfs? What about
101 Dalmatians.
yeah? So it just went.
Yeah.
And then we said, that's great ideas. We put all the ideas down. And then we get with Barry Kern and his team and Manuel Ponce and Robbie Cangelosi and those guys to really put that together. And then we get sketches, and then we get color sketches, and then we approve everything. And then you got to put the costumes with it. Then you got to put the throws with it. And then you get the floats made, the costumes made, and the throws made. And if everything works out right, 12 months later, you have a parade.
Yeah.
I was shocked how early I got going. 'Cause last year I went to the office to pick up some of the silver doubloons
Yeah.
from the king from
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year. And Jennifer had all of her stuff there already, and this was 2 weeks after the parade.
We start,
It was
our
going
first
already.
meeting,
Yeah.
well, look, we've already met for next year, but our first official meeting is the Monday afterwards. So on
Wow.
February the 19th, we have a critique meeting where we bring all of our float lieutenants together and our staff and our board of directors and say, okay, what was good, what
Yeah,
was
what was
bad,
bad, what
what
can
can
we
we
do better?
improve, what can we do better, any ideas for next year? And then, oh, by the way, the theme next year will be, and then we move from there. So we're already working on 2025.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I was
already
fine.
working on Kings for 2025. I mean,
Yeah.
so, and truthfully, 2026 is already kind of in the books as
Yeah.
far as.
Yeah, it's
what
in
we're gonna do.
plaster. It's not
Yeah,
white and concrete, but
It's just
yeah.
too big of an operation now to wait 6 months. Now, truthfully, we get a little slow during the summertime, but come
Yeah,
late
come-
August, September, I mean,
Yeah.
it's full bore.
Well, I can imagine with the amount of float decorating you do, that's most of the year project and.
Well, that's,
ordering your
that's what Barry
throws.
does. I mean, that's his company, that's
Yeah.
what he gets paid
But
to
they need
do.
a-
They do
a
that year
design,
round.
you
That's
know,
right.
so-
Well, you gotta do the designs,
Yeah.
but now we're doing it so much earlier. It's just a big business now.
Yeah,
It's still fun, but in years past, we wouldn't have the theme till maybe June.
Right.
No more. We got to have that theme out because to try to get the throws, the costumes, and all that, you got to have a theme 12 months in advance.
Yeah.
And then it really helps Barry Kern and their group to really, so then he can schedule his staff out and to do the work that needs to be done to be ready for our open house. We want our floats ready for open house.
Yeah,
I love that open house with everything lit up and.
Yeah, it's fun.
Smoke coming.
It's one of
up.
my great, I love that event, because the kids, man, you get to see the kids. When you get on the float, it's awesome, okay?
Yeah.
It is awesome. And you still see kids, and that's all part of it. But to see our members and their families come, I mean, family's important to me. So I love seeing that day and all the kids. And again, my grandchild, she's getting of that age now. I showed you all the picture of her
Yeah.
dancing in her Mardi Gras dress this morning. And so to see that next generation is wonderful.
Yeah, it's okay. I must have missed you this year when I was there. I couldn't stay very long. But,
Yeah.
went and just kind of scoped out the new floats and,
Yeah,
of course, got to set it to blue.
you got to get a Lucky Dog hot dog,
Yeah,
man.
right.
I had some beignets.
This year we had, they always bring, hot dogs for everybody, but it was the weather was beautiful this
Yeah.
year. So Kirk Talbot told me that with Lucky Dogs, they went and got 300 more hot dogs. They ran out of hot dogs,
Yeah, oh,
which they've
absolutely.
never done.
It was crowded.
Yeah,
It was more
this year was-
crowded
yeah,
this year
yeah,
than
yeah. Which is
than
great.
last
I love
year.
it. I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah, I
it.
bet you that weather is.
Yeah, the
come
weather
on
helped.
out, we can stay a
Yeah,
little longer.
yeah,
you know.
absolutely,
The
absolutely.
thing I love about that event is, you'd mentioned that, you see all the steam, the bubbles, all the different, animations and
Correct.
whatnot on the floats.
Correct.
It gives you an opportunity to definitely see all of the floats in action. You have to
And
wear-
that's a great point you make, because again, on the parade route, boom, it goes by.
Right,
At an open
Goes
house.
by and there's 1,000 people in
Right,
front of you.
and at the open house, you can really appreciate the artwork and the animation, et cetera, just what you said, and
Yeah.
that is so true.
yeah, I mean, it's, and it is a work of art, I
Sure.
mean, anytime that I get, an opportunity to go through a float den,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like walking, for me.
Yeah.
It's like walking through the Louvre, I
Sure,
mean,
sure.
Getting to see the beauty of the.
Oh, my God,
The
it's
floats.
amazing.
And, not only the beauty of the floats, but, I mean, you'll see, a lot of the times you'll see, props on the side. or
Yeah, yeah.
That either are from years
past,
past.
sure.
or,
It just feels
sure.
like an old art gallery
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then in y'all's den as well, getting to look up and see all the flags that are hanging in the.
that's pretty cool, it is, I
yeah.
like that, I like that. We try to bring our king there when we can, prior to, and they pretty much look up there and see 55 years of history and
I mean, it's
see some of those
some
big
big
names
Yeah,
up
see
there.
the names that have been.
Like, man, I don't know if I belong in this group.
Yeah,
Especially some of the earlies. I mean, you still have great kings, but some of the earlies were really legends.
Well, it was a different time back then. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
it's a different world today.
Well, I think they've grown into legends too. I don't
Exactly.
know if they were as big at the time.
They were pretty
but,
big back then. I mean,
But-
Danny Kaye was the number one guy
Yeah.
in the industry at that time.
yeah, Bob Hope.
Bob Hope, my
know.
God, he was known worldwide. Perry Como was one of the best singers at the time. I guess he would be like, I don't know, maybe not as big as Taylor Swift today, but he was a big
Darn
time.
close, darn
Yeah,
close, I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. Glenn Campbell,
Yeah.
country music star. Some of those guys back in those days. Henry Winkler, the Fonz.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the biggest thing at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you only had 3 channels: ABC, NBC, and CBS. That was it. So they were stars that everybody knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Today, we have great stars, but they might be on Hulu or HBO. But if you don't watch one of those channels, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody. So
Well, Kevin Dillon, he was in Platoon and what else? Entourage.
Entourage is,
Yeah.
he's more known for, Platoon and Entourage are the 2 main things when you say his name. Oh, yeah, I remember Entourage.
yeah.
Platoon, I mean, he tells a story, that was his first movie ever.
Really?
And he got called, he was 18 years old. He was getting ready to go into the Marines. He was getting ready to sign up for the Marines. He and his buddies were all going. He's on his way, gets a phone call. Hey, would you come screenshot for this movie we're doing? He's like, all right. He gets it. He gets the movie. His buddies all went to the Marines.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, well, I guess that was meant to be.
Yeah.
And so, but his part in the, he's got for a young kid at 18, not really known well at that time, he had a pretty big part in that movie, So it was good. It was good. Good.
And then, I mean, we'd mentioned Entourage. I mean, that's some of the classic scenes that you think of from that show are him with his outburst, shall we say?
Yeah.
And in between him and Ari, with their outbursts, and the insanity that they would bring into the picture,
It's crazy. And it's just a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
So what about the extravaganza this year? What's on the menu?
So we've got Chicago's our lead this year.
Oh, wow.
And everybody's really pumped about them.
I'll be there yet again.
Good, come on. And then before that, we have Mojo is one of our local bands.
All right.
And so the big draw for that is it's a great party to be with your friends and family and business associates, whoever, your guests from around the world. Chicago's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
parade
yeah.
comes completely through the convention center.
That
And so
is a
that's-
spectacle.
Yeah, it's a whole nother way to look at the parade. And truthfully, I get off my float, I go to the restroom, clean up some, then I get there and I get the chance to really sit and watch, drinking a little cocktail because I know I got another 6 hours to
Right.
go. But to stand there with my wife and just watch the parade is beautiful, you know. And in
Probably
Dub-
one of the few captains that actually gets to watch a parade.
Well,
You know?
we've done the work.
Yeah.
So now we should be able to enjoy it. WWL will be filming again this year, live, so they'll do their show at 10:30 on Sunday. So you'll get to watch that parade through the convention center. Endymion comes through the convention center as well. So for the guest, it's a great way to watch the parade.
Yeah, it's
It
an amazing
really
way.
is. And honestly, like, I mean, I guess I knew what I was getting into, but I hadn't been to that before. And last year I was in the middle, and the parade comes around that middle section, and you're
Twice.
surrounded. You're surrounded by it, and it's just wild. I mean, because that middle section isn't very wide. So
No.
it would be similar to the parade making a U-turn on St. Charles, and you have it going on both sides. And the guys
Well,
are
you
throwing
remember
like
we used to make the
crazy.
turn on Canal. We'd go uptown, we'd go
Yeah.
north on Canal, and then we'd make that U-turn at, I forget the street, and
Like
come on the other
University
side.
or one of them.
But
Canal's
Canal's
real
wide,
wide,
I agree.
yeah.
But it kind of would,
Yeah, it'd be a
people that
similar
could
experience,
remember
yeah.
that experience could remember that turn where you could see the parade, you know, you could wave to your guy on the other float.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so what you did was a much smaller.
Yeah, but I mean, it can't be.
No.
I don't know.
50 feet?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
there
look,
is stuff coming
you're
from
catching
every
this way, you're
direction.
getting hit in the back of the head by somebody else.
wearing a helmet this year.
Yeah, and when he came, when I saw him, you know, the next day afterwards, you know, I asked him, I was like, how was the, you know, how was it? And he was like, dude, you think that it's awesome to watch Bacchus on the route? You need to go see it at the.
Well, you need to come.
We can really see
You need
it
to
better,
come,
too.
unless you're on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did both last year, which probably wasn't the greatest idea, because, man, I was so done after that.
I know.
But, I mean,
Now, what do
that
y'all do
wasn't
on
it.
Monday? What time do y'all get started on Monday?
I mean, Monday we start getting rolling about 10:30 because that's
Yeah.
when we have to start bringing. You know, every year we get a U-Haul van that has all our gear for our spot. And,
Yeah.
And we have to go and empty it out at a friend of ours' house.
Yeah.
And you know, call everybody and be like, "Come get your cooler, come get your chair,
Yeah,
come get this,"
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then bring it back to U-Haul before they're like, "That'll be another day and a half that we're gonna
Yeah,
charge."
we park it Saturday,
Yeah, yeah.
wait for your parade, and then bring it back Monday. We're all in, you know, fresh, ready to go.
Now, how many parades have y'all done so far this year?
So this year we've made 22 parades as of right now,
Yeah.
and you know, to break the ice, this is Thursday morning. So you know, tonight we've got Muses and Chaos and Babylon.
Yeah.
And-
Maybe symphony, hopefully symphony as well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll make Symphony out in Metairie as well.
Wonderful.
And
I know
he's
you
He's got a few more. I rode Carrollton this year, so I missed that day.
Yeah.
But- well, I mean, I had fun that day, but I
Sure,
didn't see all
sure.
those parades.
Yeah.
Sure.
But,
That's great, man. That's great.
But yeah, I mean, this year has been a challenge with the shortened season.
Yes.
You know, I mean, anytime that we have the season where Mardi Gras is so early like it is
Yep.
this year,
Yeah.
it you know, gives us a challenge to where, you know, there'll be, you know, like there was earlier in the season, there was 2 or 3 events going on the same day that, you know, we would usually be like, this event is to not be missed.
Yeah.
And we were having to basically put the names in a hat and
Yeah.
be like, okay,
Yeah,
we're going to this event.
yeah, all
you know?
the balls and such were
Sure.
all stacked on top of each other this year.
I told a lot of people, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Mardi Gras.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Pretty much.
So, it's all good, all good.
You know, where can people follow the parade?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Where can people follow the parade
Oh.
online?
You talking about online or?
Yeah, well, online in
Well,
general, you know?
WWL is going to be carrying it on TV, on their channel. NOLA.com carries it live through their
Yeah,
website,
through
et cetera.
the Mardi Gras for all of y'all.
I think that's it. I mean, as far as live productions, other than, you guys do your show. Anybody else that might put a camera up there through YouTube or something like that. But definitely social media, TikTok, YouTube, all that's coming to be. And it's something we really are trying to attack, to be a part of that in the future,
Yeah.
Social media is becoming a huge thing. So how do we take part in that to make sure that we're getting as much as we can of Mardi Gras out to the world? It was TV, et cetera. It still is a lot of TV, but now you got
more and more often.
You guys do the same thing, podcast and all the TikTok, YouTube, Instagram,
Yeah,
whatever's out there.
traditional cable is almost disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, more and more often, I'm finding myself to where, the things that I'm watching on traditional television are things like The Love Boat, things
Yeah.
things that have been off the air for
Yeah.
I'll watch
30,
some
40
weird
years.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll watch some weird
And
stuff.
but my current event stuff is all on YouTube, on
Yeah.
Facebook Live, on TikTok, all the different,
Yeah.
like you said, the social medias. And-
So we got to get Mardi Gras into that as well. And that's what we're going to be talking about this year coming up in 2025 is what can we do to be a part of that? We are,
Yeah,
but still how to take advantage of it.
right.
Do you still have your app going?
We don't. We did it for a couple of years there. There's a lot of work involved in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money involved in that.
I could imagine.
And we spent a lot of money, but we wanted to do something for the city to have that virtual Mardi Gras. And, it did well.
I mean, I caught a bike, so obviously
Yeah, I mean,
it did awesome, you know?
it served its purpose during
Yeah.
COVID. I hope we never have to go back to that. But that was the tip of the iceberg. And so now what can we do? Do we bring that back again? How do we use the tools that are out there to bring Bacchus and Mardi Gras to the world?
Yeah.
I know the app's still live. I think I have it on my phone still, but I didn't know if y'all was still doing the little virtual parade. I think some
No.
of the games and all on
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was still going.
I'm sorry to say that, not to my knowledge.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
fun.
I mean-
It was a good.
It
it
was
way
awesome.
to do
I mean, there's a lot of
do
people.
something, you know.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that I talked to around the country. Hey, man, we're watching it, we're doing it. So it served its purpose at that time, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, the thing that I loved about it was that it gave everybody, like you said, across the country,
Yeah.
an opportunity to, in some ways, experience Mardi Gras.
That's right, that's right.
Instead of.
While we were locked up in our rooms and
Right,
in our
right.
houses, yeah, for COVID.
So,
Hopefully that never happen again.
so Clark, I know that you've got a super busy schedule. I don't want to take
Sure,
up
thank you.
too much more of your time.
Sure, sure.
And we love having.
We're,
this
I love having you
opportunity,
guys here. I
yeah.
wouldn't, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't sit here with you.
Yeah.
Y'all do a great job. You do a good service to our Mardi Gras family for what you do on the street, and so I thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's
anything
high
that we can
praise.
do.
We appreciate
Sure,
that. Thank
sure,
you.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's, in our eyes, anything that we can do to help.
Yeah.
Spread the love and the word of,
Sure.
how great of a thing Mardi Gras is.
That's right, that's right.
The last thing I want is for Mardi Gras to be, ain't there no more.
That's
No.
right. Well, that,
I'm gonna keep it going myself.
That's
Right, right, yeah.
well, thank y'all so much, and happy Mardi Gras to
Enjoy your
everybody.
ride.
Yeah.
Hail Bacchus.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Hail Bacchus.
Hail Bacchus. So signing out, we will see you on the route. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to check out tonight's guests online. You can check them out at links all listed over here. Also, if you like us, you can support us. You go to our website, you can purchase our shirts and
These
Couple
beautiful
other-
things.
couple other goodies that we have out there. And be sure to follow us online as well. The links are all over here. And while you're at it, be sure to click that subscribe button down there and the little bell to stay in touch on when we put out new content. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the route.